Hello, I thought I'd do a small video on the French and Belgian medals I have. You do see them come up occasionally, and I think they're interesting. I'll start with the earliest one I have. It's the St Helena medal. Um, During the Napoleonic Wars, there hadn't been by the French a medal produced which was a campaign medal. There was the Legion of Honour for bravery, but as I say, there was no campaign medal. And in 1857, Napoleon III introduced this medal as a commemorative veterans medal. And as you can see, there's an image of Napoleon I, and this was awarded to all veterans of all the campaigns of the Napoleonic Wars. I think on the reverse there it mentions from 1793 to 1815. There are a lot of copies of these. This is an original medal though, and it's nice because it's even got the original ribbon. Tatty, but it is original. As I have mentioned, the Legion of Honour, which is probably the most famous French medal, probably one of the most famous in the world, really. The French Legion of Honour. Get hold of this. This is a nice example because it's actually in its original box. You can see it's got Legion of Honour. Now this is the French word for knight. Now knight is a class. I believe there are five. There are five distinctions. The knight class is the lowest. Napoleon originally introduced the medal in 1802, and it changed over the years from first introduced, because the first Legion of Honour didn't have this laurel wreath. It did change. After that, it had from having nothing there, it had a crown, an imperial crown and a royal crown, I believe. So this is the as it currently is, the Legion of Honour, but it hasn't got the date of 1870. So it changed over the years. As you can see, there's the image of the French Republic. The first one had an image of Napoleon I on. So that changed over time too. I'm not an expert on that by any stretch of by any means, but it does have. In the First World War, it was like that. This example is probably from them. To say, obviously, from 1870, the medal looked like this to during the First World War, but then the medal changed. I think it was in 1946. They introduced this medal with one star at the bottom, and then currently today it has 3 stars at the bottom. So yeah, it's quite interesting. Oh, I'll show the reverse of the medal. You can see that very well. 2 crossed French flags. I think that's, for me personally, I think that's one of the most handsome medals ever produced. And the Belgians have a medal that's just quite similar, the Order of Leopold. The ribbon's purple, and it has I think it has a prancing lion or raised lion in the middle. Now going on to the next medal. This is the Medal Militaire. So I can show this off. Don't know if I can't see it very well. If I hold up a piece of material there, that might enable you to see it slightly better. Sorry, that's not very clear on that. And that's about as clear as I'm going to get it. That's the Medal Militaire. That was introduced in the 1850s, I believe, again by Napoleon III. The original medal from that time, though, instead of having the breastplate, anchor, and cannons, etc., had an eagle, and then instead of the lady, the image of the French Republic, it had Napoleon III. This was the next design, say used from 1870 to around the First World War, and then the same with the Legion of Honours. There was one star where there was 1870, and now there's 3 stars. So that should give you some indication as to the approximate date, if you see one of those medals. I only have 2 Belgian medals. This one is the War Cross. This is similar to the French War Cross. This one is First World War period. The only difference between this one and the Second World War, because this was first introduced in 1915, but they reintroduced the medal during the Second World War. The only differences is the ribbon, the stripes, and I think it's the same colour, but the stripes are different. And on the reverse, this monogram is different on the Second World War example. So as I say, that's a First World War example, which is actually similar in some ways to the Legion of Honour. So saying the crowns on the Legion of Honour, where they had the crown instead of the laurel wreath, it's actually very similar to the Belgian War Cross. So, and finally, the last medal here is the I think that's just a civic medal, but that came with I think it's quite an early. I think that is First World War period. That came with the other Belgian medal. And there we have it. I hope there's been something of interest there. Thanks very much.